This is Living Power with Dan Hurst.
So we're picking up with where we were last Sunday. I want to do a real quick recap, and then we'll pick up where we left off. But in our passage, I'm just going to kind of go through it real quickly. In John chapter 8, we've got it in your study guide. But Jesus has been connecting and talking to the Pharisees and Sadducees. He's probably at the temple at this point doing some teaching. And they come to him and they want to argue with him. Now you have to understand that it wasn't just so much just arguing, but this was a way of teaching. The Jewish way of teaching, and still is this way, is to get into a discussion and have a pro and con, and I have this position and I'm going to discuss this position, and it's an attitude where you argue, not really argue, but you debate different philosophies and positions about the Scriptures. That's just one of the ways that they would teach. So when you see some of this where it says that the Pharisees came to him and they're arguing with him, this could have been a teaching setting. It could have been one of those settings where Jesus, as the rabbi, is teaching and they're challenging him. So it could have been intentionally vitriolic, where they're trying to set him up and embarrass him and argue with him. That certainly happened, and there was a lot of that. But it also could have been just one of those normal teaching sessions, because that's how they teach. That's how they discuss. And they still do it to this day. So they're in this situation, and they challenge him. And because Jesus was making these claims and saying these things about himself and who he is. And they challenge him, and they say, now wait a minute. You're bearing witness about yourself. Your testimony isn't true. The challenge was, because the philosophy was, that if you talk about yourself and you bear witness about yourself, then nobody can really trust that. Because the understanding was that the only testimony that's true is one that's given by two witnesses. In other words, in a court of law, it wasn't what the person that's on trial, for example, says about himself, but what the witnesses say about that person that has any value. That's what they're implying here. You're talking about yourself. There's no value in that. It's the value is in what other people say about you. And Jesus says, well, look, even if I do bear witness about myself, even if I do talk about myself, it doesn't matter, it's true. What I'm saying is true. For I know where I came from and I know where I'm going. But you don't know where I came from and you don't know where I'm going. So how can you be witnesses? Because you don't know me. If you don't know me, you can't be a witness, but that doesn't mean that I'm not who I say I am. That's basically what he was saying. You judge according to the flesh. I'm not even here to judge anyone, Jesus said. Verse 16, if I do judge, my judgment's true, because it's not I alone who judge, but I the Father who sent me. Wow, that was a challenge. That was a challenge to them. Because what he was saying was, I am sent by God. In your law, it's written that the testimony of two people is true. That's what he's saying. That's the basis for your argument. So then he says, okay, I'm the one who bears witness about myself, and the Father who sent me bears witness about me. So there you have it. There's the two people. And they said to him, well, now wait a minute, where's your Father? And Jesus responds and he says, look, you know neither me nor my Father. Because if you knew me, you'd know my Father also. Whoa! You know, talk about really getting in their heads and really messing with their philosophies and all. These words he spoke in the treasury as he taught in the temple, and no one arrested him because his hour had not yet come.
On behalf of Dan Hurst and the Open Class, we want to thank you for watching. We hope it was a blessing.